All right, welcome back to the Radical Independent. My name is Dave. Thank you for all of the free radicals that are here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I know it's something I don't often ask you to do, but if you could do that, that would be cool. It's like they just take a few of the subscribers away each month. By the way, I will talk about Tulsi Gabbard at some point if you're a Tulsi Gabbard fan. If Tulsi says or does anything that's interesting, I will do a video about Tulsi Gabbard. I'm still okay with Tulsi on some things, but in any event, my friend Charles Anderson from the Lone Wolf podcast is a big fan of Ross Perot, and so am I. Ross Perot ran a great campaign in 1992 for president. I think he ran again in 96, but the 92 campaign was really sort of a bellwether for independent campaigns. I think he garnered about 18% of the total vote. He was on track to win the election, but the CIA messed with his family and basically spooked Perot, where Perot kind of pulled his campaign back, and then his supporters were all like, please jump back in. By that time, he had lost all that forward momentum, although he was starting to regain some of it. It's a shame that he never became the president, especially after you listen to him here. And I'm going to show a graph along with Perot, or after Ross Perot talks here, and you'll notice the plain-spoken, straightforward, giving you the facts, very dragnet of Ross Perot. Is it Joe Friday? He's very Joe Friday. So let's listen to the prophet Ross Perot.
In plain language, everybody west of the Mississippi that sends income taxes into the Internal Revenue Service, their taxes are used just to pay interest on the federal debt. They don't buy anything for you. They don't buy anything for your children. They don't do anything to build roads, bridges, better schools, make the streets safe, pay interest on the debt. We've got to cut it out. Well, let's look at the growth of federal spending and see if there's a trend here.
See if there's a trend here. Now, here is a businessman looking at trends and then making a forecast. This is absolutely fascinating.
Go all the way back here to 1950. There's obviously a trend here. We've gone up to 25% of our gross national product. That's excessive. But hold on to your hat. If you and I don't take action now as owners of this country, the forecast shows that by the year 2020, federal spending will be 41% of the gross national product.
All right, federal spending as a percentage of the gross national product will be 41%, according to Ross Perot. Here he is talking about the year 2020 back in 1992. Government spending in the United States increased to 44% in the year 2020. 44%. There's the chart. Now, it was a big spike from 2019 where it was 35. As you can see, this, by the way, it got to be 42 in 2010. So quite honestly, it had come down a bit. It had come down a bit more during the Trump years, but it was still a pretty high percentage, 35. Perot predicted 41. He predicted 41, and here we are at 44. 44%. So he nailed it. He nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And here's what he has to say about it.
We can't take 25%. We certainly can't take 41%. This is kind of like having Willie Sutton in charge of the bank, folks. He was a famous bank robber, and they asked him, why do you rob banks? And Willie said, because that's where the money is. Well, our bank is being looted big time, and we'll get down to how in a little bit.
All right, so why do I think this is important? Because these are the issues that politicians do not talk about. They don't care about deficit spending. They think the modern monetary theory solves this problem. Libertarians think that, hey, we don't need any government so we can wipe this stuff out. What did Perot propose? Well, he actually proposed a couple of things. He proposed eliminating entitlement spending to some degree, and he also proposed new taxes. Now, you hear that taxes are theft, but then people want to know, well, how are we going to pay for something if we don't have some tax revenue coming in? But Perot was balanced in his approach. He didn't say, like politicians do today, they say, oh, we'll just eliminate taxes, we'll give you a tax break. And then we've got major deficit spending because there's no revenue going into the Treasury. Now, some hardcore people would say, well, you just need to eliminate all entitlements. Folks, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. In a perfect world, if you could eliminate some entitlements, yeah. I mean, there are some things. I would say the Department of Education needs to go. I mean, there are other large government agencies that could probably go, but you're not going to get there right away. So what you need to do in the meantime is try to manage the chaos, and that is what Perot is proposing here. He even talks in another video that he does about shared sacrifice, paying your fair share, things like that. Obama picked up on that stuff, but it was, it was only directed at a certain group of people, and it always seemed condescending rather than corporations paying their fair share. Obama was asking, the citizens who are already underwater to pay their fair share. Perot, by the way, was an equal opportunity offender. He offended the corporations. He offended, the everyday worker. But I find this remarkable that a guy with a handheld chart that was probably made in those days on a Xerox machine, and brought to this televised infomercial, he sits there with his pointer and he gets it right. He gets it right. Now, Trump is kind of a descendant of Perot to some degree, but he was never really serious about knocking out the debt. You know who was for a little while? The Tea Party folks were. But they didn't want to share the sacrifice. In other words, they didn't understand that you probably did need to raise taxes in order to balance the budget. A balanced budget makes you a much healthier country. It's like the proper pH in the human body. Once you are balanced, you're good with all your creditors, you're good around the world, people trust you because you're going to be good on a promise, you're going to pay your debts, you're solvent. I mean, that's what good banking used to be like, but, Perot doesn't talk about the Federal Reserve here or anything like that, but I guarantee you, if I dig deep enough, I'm going to find some stuff, and when I do, I'll make it into a video. So again, Ross Perot being spot on in the year 2020, 44% of our spending compared to GDP, and here he is predicting 41% in October of 1992. He's predicting that much. I mean, this is such a spot-on analysis that it's almost scary, and it shows you that if you have somebody serious who runs for office and really is analyzing the data and really wants to do what's right, we could fix these problems, but instead, what do? We've got the two parties that kick the can down the road. He talks about that also in this infomercial. By the way, the infomercial is on The Economy. Came out back in September. It was posted here. It's got 80 likes and 0 dislikes. So again, Ross Perot just absolutely prophetic here. And that's why Charles and I really dig Ross Perot. He would have been a great president. He passed away, I think, last year. And I was thinking about him saying, man, if he had been a 2-term president during the 90s, we would have got all our jobs back instead of signing NAFTA and all these stupid trade agreements. There's no way Perot would have gone in on that. Anyway, that's my video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.